Hey, welcome back for part 3 of this Buick LeSabre intake deal. Anyway, I did some more checking this morning. I went ahead and fired this thing up and kind of puffed out a cloud of bluish smoke. And yeah, I had changed the oil and everything. And then it also kind of, at warm restarts, was kind of hard starting. And I looked at the data as well, and my long-term fuel trims are I think minus 14, and everything else looks good. And I'm just highly leaning towards injectors. I went ahead and got a set of injectors from Napa. They're Reman. It's the only injectors in town for this application. And even 2 of them are completely different looking. So I'm sure they're not going to flow exactly the same, but I think I'll put one of either of the 2 different ones, one on one bank, one on the other, to try to, I guess it doesn't have 2 different banks anyway for the injection system, so the car probably wouldn't know any better, but I'm just going to cross my fingers. I should have just insisted on new injectors to begin with, but there was nothing available in town. They were scattered around town, and we found exactly 6 of them left. They actually look new, so they're probably new. So anyway, I'm going to swap those out and see if our fuel trims come down and this thing runs better, so I can boot this thing out of here. We'll see. I just think this car likes it here. Oh, by the way, I'm trying the camera without the remote mic. See how it works this time. I'm getting so fed up with this mic baloney. Such a pain. I'm just a mechanic. I'm not a audio video guru. Injectors, change out all 6 injectors pays 0.9 hours labor on this car. So see if we can beat book time. Oh my goodness. Disconnect the injector connectors. Someone asked about lubing the O-rings, and yes, absolutely. And you know, you might be tempted to put dielectric grease on the injector O-rings. I wouldn't do that, especially on the rail side. Globs of that can get caught up in your injector, and that wouldn't be good. So they do make a special O-ring lube that works well for this. Worst case scenario, you could use a little bit of WD-40. That'll work too. So we got our new injectors on. Just pop things back together here. Okay, we'll go put the scanner on. It's been running outside. Seems to be running pretty good. So, see what's going on there. On this Solus, I don't know how many of you guys run into this, but super depressing. I've had the Virus for, I don't know, 10, 12 years. Never had a problem with the cable. But the Solus, just a couple months old, and the stupid end of the cable, some Chinese plastic garbo has broke. Even the other end, where it attaches to the Solus, little plastic covering of the little retention nut broke. What garbage! I mean, come on, SnapOn? Are you kidding me? Is this the way it's going to go? I've already had to buy a new cable. I haven't even got the thing paid off yet. And I mean, I treat this pretty good. It just basically, I unplugged it off the car and it just kind of dangled down and hit the A-pillar or something in the car, and kersnap. I don't even know what happened to this end. It just fell off. So I don't abuse my stuff. I keep it in a special drawer. Keep it in the little cabinet here in its original case, and as you can see, I mean, it looks brand new. I take really good care of my stuff. Super sad to see the quality of the SnapOn stuff taking a nosedive. I've always been a big fan, but I know there's a lot of other options for scan tools out there, and I will be eyeing those as this falls apart. As you can see, running super smooth. And see what it looks like on the data. Short term is positive 13. Long term is now positive 16, so we've gone the other direction. It's running a little bit lean, but I'm a lot happier with that. I reset the fuel trim. Man, it's high. It's like crappy injectors to me. All right, well, this is obviously going to be probably a 4-part series at least. This ongoing saga, this Plenum Buick nightmare. Since we've got high positive fuel trims after the injector replacement, and highly likely that the injectors are problematic there, and we'll probably have to get just new injectors. I was worried about those reman injectors. I actually placed a call to Eric O. Eric, thank you for the tips last night. That guy's sharp. Makes me feel, every time I talk to a tech like that, it makes me feel like, you know, one of those hammer and tongs kind of mechanics. It just, it's, you know, I'm pretty old school as far as it goes. The guy's sharp. He's up on the latest stuff. I just kind of, I'm more of a part swapper anymore. But give me some good tips. We're going to probably get that thing back in and do an injector balance and try to isolate the cause of that higher fuel trim value, especially at idle. But we've alleviated the possibility of some other things causing that. So we'll get that nailed down. At this point, the customer's driving it, and here's a development. The guy come in to get it. He's an elderly guy, and a lot of my customers are getting to the point where we got to give them a lot of grace and try to work with them. It's a joy helping these people out, but it's rough seeing, watching them get older, like myself. But comes in and I'm discussing things with them, and I'm like, well, hopefully we got this thing nailed down. He goes, well, yeah, it's hard to believe that it would have been the starting fluid. And I'm like, what starting fluid? I asked that the very first conversation I had with the guy. I asked him if he'd used ether on it, and he said no. Well, he goes, well, yeah, but that was a long time before that. And I said, oh, like weeks back or whatnot. And he's like, well, no, maybe like an hour before. Who knows on this deal, but obviously he was spraying ether in it. And, you know, plastic intakes blow up when they get full of ether and have a little combustion. So that might have something to do with it. That would have been good information to have. Like I was talking to Eric, you just can't, you waterboard these customers and you try to get information out of them, but at the end of the day, you gotta just assume they're not telling the truth. So anyway, we got more info to go on. There's going to be some question marks on this car. How far we go with it, being a 96 car. But I do want to make sure that the parts that repairs that I did and the parts that I installed are good. And I was worried about those reman injectors. So it'd be an easy fix. But the parts are kind of spendy to go with like the Delphi new ones, and I'd found like 2 over at Jags Auto and 1 somewhere else and a couple on eBay, so it's going to be difficult sourcing these things, but if that's what we got to do, we'll do that, just to try to keep this clunker on the road. I'm going to get back to my engine repairs here. I'm actually throwing the camshaft in now. We've gone through and checked our bearings on the lower end of the shop truck motor. Got my heads back, and I'm going to throw this cam in. I'm going with the comp cams. It's the Extreme 4x, and this is the 235-4 cam, and this thing's got 262 intake duration, 270 exhaust. With a 514 intake lift and 524 exhaust lift. So I get to have a little bit of a choppy idle, but that'll be kind of fun anyway. So I'm going to degree my cam here and get this thing going back together. Hopefully this weekend we can make some progress on this thing and get it plugged back in and back on the road. Well, here's another interesting development. I go to throw my cam in, and I've learned to check the number on the end of the cam. I've actually never had a misbox cam, but I've been told over and over again, double check the number, and what do you know? So this is the number I've got on the end of this cam. It's supposed to be a 34-235-4. And you can see the number on it. Well, this is a full-on drag race flat tappet cam with like 4,500 stall speed converter, and I would put this thing together. It is for a 460, but I would have been like, what the heck's going on here? This thing won't idle at all. Oh my gosh. I am super glad I caught that, and we're not sure if there's another correct cam in town. But man, that grind, that would have been sweet. That would have been a bad boy there. Whoo! Unbelievable. Lord's watching out for me. I do appreciate you watching. We'll keep you updated on this saga, and look forward to next time. Have a good one. Take care.